physical universe contains all the galaxies, all the planets, all the stars, and everything in and on them. And the physical universe is what's called the first heaven. And in Christianity, they don't talk much about it, but they refer to the seventh heaven. Well, that's the highest heaven that humans can understand. But the first heaven is right here. And Earth, if you just would compare it, it's like a single grain of sand in this huge, huge universe. And it's so egoistic to think that planet Earth is the only one with intelligent life. It's just about, to me, it's just about the same as saying, the universe, Earth is the center of the universe, as the church used to declare, punishable by death. So just in our observable universe, just the part that we can observe from the Hubble telescope, and it's so small compared to the whole great thing, in the physical universe, there's a minimum of a sextillion planets. A sextillion is a 1 with 21 zeros behind it. And that's just in our little neck of the woods. And it's exceedingly life is everywhere. It's not just on planets, it's everywhere. Everything is life, and it's hard to understand it. It's an expression of life. Everything is living. Somebody came to me, well, you're telling me plastic is living? Yes, definitely plastic is living. How is plastic living? Because it's composed of atoms around which electrons are moving. That's motion. Motion is the characteristic of life. Even in things you wouldn't think of, there's life, like fire. In the element of fire, there's incredibly intelligent beings called the Michaels, the archangels of fire. So, to talk about worlds of existence in the hereafter, we first have to say something about them. And we talked about the psychical world being the fourth dimensions, and so everything existing in this world, to exist, must have a psychical and noetical counterpart. Nothing can exist here without these counterparts. Something can exist psychonoetically without having a material counterpart, but nothing material can exist without having a psychonoetical counterpart. And the etheric counterparts are the etheric doubles of each of these elements, each of these worlds, each of these bodies. So, the psychical counterpart of Earth is in and around the planet, extends for thousands of miles around the planet. And as we know from the Daskalos teachings, it doesn't touch the psychical counterparts of other worlds. However, the etheric double of the psychical world does touch the moon at certain times of the full moons, especially the supermoons. And it's amazing. It's really, I can't remember what I found out. It was 230,000 miles. It's something not too far that the Earth, the moon moves closer to the Earth. Now, it's the same with our material body. It has an etheric counterpart which extends, it's in the body and it extends around the body. And it's this etheric counterpart that connects the bodies. The material body and the psychical body and the noetical body. The material Earth and the psychical Earth, the psychical counterpart and the noetical counterpart. So these practices that Aki's giving, that Daskalos has left us, put us in touch with the etheric double of our material body. And our practices give us control over that. And that's a very important part of advancement. Now, I remember when I first showed up at Daskalos's in the 80s, and he was starting talking about the etheric counterpart. Whoa, etheric double. Wow, that just seems so far in advance for me. But you can't believe it's not that complicated. And once you start doing these practices, you'll prove it to yourself because you can use it. There are other worlds beyond the noetical world, but even maybe call them realms. But not much can be said about them, not much is understood about them. The human intelligence just can't reach that high. But just a few basic elements about the difference between these worlds. The material world, no two solid things can occupy the same space. But in the psychonoetical worlds, they do. How is that possible? It's the same principle as all the radio stations in this room. They each exist at a different frequency without getting mixed up. So it's the frequency of vibrations that put things in their proper place. It's the frequency of vibrations that deliver us into the appropriate plane of the psychonoetical worlds we vibrate in harmony with. But in the fourth dimension, the sense of space is completely annihilated. There is no measurable space. None. No one measures from point A to point B. So it's all about place. And what's the difference between space and place? I lost my pen. All right. We are born we are all in this room, right? Which is in space.
For this?
Thank you.